the realizations and the experiences of others, it's strengthening of your own convictions and your own inspiration. So we'll do some of that. And it's a nice way, it's a happy way to conclude things. So we'll start with those of you that participated in the Japa retreat for the first time. And also I'll just ask for some volunteers, if anybody would like to share what your experience was, how many rounds you chanted, how your day went, the things specifically, things that, resources or that which supported you the most through the course of the time that you were engaged in chanting. Somebody would like to volunteer? I don't see any volunteers. Okay. You got to put it on. Oh, okay.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to participate in.
You don't know this devotee because he's not from your area. He's here from the Midwest, St. Louis, and then more recently in Chicago. Go for it.
There are some take-home messages I got from the whole retreat, which was Namamrita was mentioning criticizing and complaining, which are material shelters. I was wondering, there is periods where you're...
Speak into the microphone. If you want to make hand gestures, use your other hand.
Okay. There are periods where Japa was helping when we were humble and humility, and when there are quarrels, criticism goes on, withdrawal was going away from the Japa. And there was much clarity today why that has happening. And the other 2 points you corrected, Arista and Keshi, which are Taranga, Rangini, which you mentioned, with a little fruit of spiritual, and you're caught up in that pool, and that stops your progress also.
Okay.
That was much clarified. And when the other one, you already gave the chart.
Let me interrupt. Those are philosophical points. How did they practically help you when you were chanting yesterday? Any of that?
Brought me myself to the place of humility so I can chant nicely.
Did you feel that you had your access to humility and your inspiration to chant in that mood became strengthened?
Strengthened, yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Okay. How many rounds did you chant?
64.
Okay. Anyone else who came for the first time back here?
Hare Krishna. So we are here for the first time with my family, and
This is your daughter next to you?
Yes, this is my daughter.
Okay.
So I chanted 32 rounds.
32.
32, and this is the first time I ever chanted 32 rounds. So I'm very grateful to all the people who made it happen here, because everything was taken care. There was no excuse not to chant. Because at home, I always think of some excuse. I have to do this, I have to do that, so I don't have time for chanting. But here, everything was taken care, even including, engaging the kids. So there were volunteers who took care of kids, took them to the beach, engaged the kids, and everything else was wonderfully done by the volunteers. So I think I was able to chant 32 rounds mainly because of the association of devotees.
Did you chant mainly in here or out and about?
I chanted about 27 rounds in here and then 5 rounds outside. And the one difficulty I've always had was the speed of chanting. It was very slow. And then yesterday, in the association of other devotees, it helped me chant faster. And it definitely helped in not missing the quality, at the same time increasing the speed also. So very, very thankful for that.
Did you, and by chanting more swiftly, did that help your attentiveness?
Yes, definitely. Yes, it helped me not mind waver in other thoughts by just
Then how did that impact your chanting this morning? Same, more swiftly?
Yes, more swiftly. I was able to do much faster. I was able to maintain the same rate that I did yesterday, like this morning.
Well, I was going to ask your daughter to volunteer if she chanted. Did you chant yesterday? Did you chant yesterday on beads? Or just when you were swinging on the swing? Did she chant on beads? On the small beads? Okay. 5 rounds, all right. Oh. Okay, she's being shy, so we won't embarrass her. But thank you very much.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And you would like to share? You're here you participated for the first time too?
Yes, this is first time. I chanted 32 rounds for the very first time, and it was really great. It's all because of the association of the devotees and the inspiration. And I see Hare Krishna everywhere, chanting the holy mantra everywhere around, and it inspired me a lot, actually. So it was really great.
So now what's your thought about, tomorrow? Do you have an idea of what you'd like to do?
Yeah, right from yesterday I had the thought, I was not chanting 16 rounds every day, but I had a thought that I should do minimum 16 rounds every day hereafter. So all that right. Kind of inspiration I got.
You're following the trail of many who have come to Japa retreats and say, wow, it's really easy and it's nice, and I think and they have done it just every day after the Japa retreat. So maybe depends on how fast you chant each mantra. Huh? Okay, someone over here had their hand up. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much. I just want to compare the last year and this year.
Okay.
Because last year first time I came last year.
Okay.
So last year I came on Thursday night, Friday and Saturday afternoon I left. This time...
Wait a minute, you came Thursday night and then?
Friday and Saturday I stayed.
Okay.
And Saturday, end of the evening, after chanting completion of this. And this time I came on Friday night, staying as Saturday, and after this program I'm going. So why I'm specially mentioning this place is, especially Friday is the lectures day. If we are not hearing the lecture, how did this impact on our impact on chanting? Last year I could easily complete my 64 rounds by 2 o'clock itself.
Wow.
Because early morning, because my whole lectures everything is continued, and next day is Saturday. So I could easily woke up early morning. Before Mangalarti I completed my 16 rounds. Then before 9 o'clock completed my 32. So go on, I completed before lunch. This year, somehow I could not make it on Friday. So only I had a lecture on Saturday morning. After Saturday morning I started. But till gone 11 o'clock, my 64 rounds I completed. So this is a very important. If you are not hearing the lectures, it's very tough to complete, though you have a desire to complete 64 rounds. So last year, in my life, the first time I chanted 64 rounds, very pleasantly and blissfully I completed but this year I tried my best to complete. And I put a lot of stuff. So that is important. Here I want to give you everybody, my request to please come whole Japa retreat and hear the lectures so that you feel that what is the importance of the chanting.
I promise I will.
One point is, yesterday I see so many quotations going on, brothers. So those quotations it's touching points. We should understand that. Meantime, I go and see that, and I'm improving, motivating myself to improve, chanting the holy name. I'll try next time. I'll come with lectures whole at retreat, not the off the way. So this is my one.
So, here's a little, take the microphone over here, a little sharing with you and with others. Not only from your side, hearing, but from the facilitator's side, a lot of time and energy and thought goes into meditating on what will be strengthening, what will be tools and resources and inspiration and something, shelters of some diversity, but also with some theme to put in your hands. And so there's consciousness behind all of that. So it's and that means relationship. So it's giving and receiving. There's strength beyond your own strength. Just hearing your description, it's like, okay, I'll just come and on my own strength I'll do the 64 rounds, and it's a whole other thing than on combined strength. It'll be so much easier. So our life in devotion is strengthened by our relationships, and it's not just the contact. It's all everything before and during and after. Those relationships are so meaningful. It makes it nice and happy and strengthened. Yeah.
Haribol Prabhuji. So this is our first year, and I will give a little bit background. So we have been trying to come here for last 3 years.
3 years.
Last 3 years, never happened.
Struck out, huh?
There were always reasons that why we couldn't go. So this is the first time we were able to come, and not able to come. We were elated to come. Like this is the magic. So if I have to describe what was the experience, this was the magic. So we were elated, first of all, to come here, like excited, just like a child would like to go to a theme park, something like that. It's amazing.
Really? What a metaphor.
The other thing is, like I put the alarm to wake up at 4:45. I thought, oh, it will be too early to wake up. We got up at 3:45, and I don't know why, but we were like totally fresh. 3:45, got up, we were here at 4:30 in the morning, and started the chanting. The chanting got finished by 2:30. Everything seemed like magic, seemed like very easy. And I was thinking in my heart, we really make it too difficult. We think that 16 rounds, okay, it will take 2 hours, and every day taking that 2 hours is a challenge. Okay, we take bits and pieces, but once we did 64 rounds, we thought, man, we are just fooling ourselves. We are just fooling ourselves. We can do much better. Just we have to organize our day better.
Yeah.
So it was a real magic, and these magics are happening last like 6 months. Lot of things we have done which has been for the first time, like we did Ekadashi fasting without water.
Nirjal, yeah.
My first experience means I have never done anything like that, and again, everything seems very easy. So magic is happening. I don't know where. Maybe the association of the devotees.
Maybe.
I would say no. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why it is. So that's my thought, Prabhuji.
So always stay in close association with devotees, and more magic.
True, Prabhuji.
Now, many of the things that you heard, you were here Friday.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many of the things that you heard Friday lend themselves to how to stay in close association with devotees and not become familiar. You know that phrase, familiarity breeds contempt? You know that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, how to avoid the familiarity part while taking the association part. So maybe you can go back, hearing what I just said, go back and listen to the recordings of Friday, and see where those elements are there in those recordings to teach you how to take the nectar and not take the poison in the association of devotees. Because just one of the things comes to mind is, it's a passage from Chaitanya Charitamrita I like very, very, very much. And that's Haridas Pandit, who was a pujari, a servant of Govindaji, and Krishnadas Kaviraj went to him, amongst many, to seek his blessings. And this Haridas Pandit, he was a recipient of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and the exhibition of it was two things. He always liked reciting every day, for some time every day, just sit and recite Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. It says Chaitanya Mangala, but that's because it was later changed to Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat. He just loved Lord Chaitanya. He was accessing, was one of our topics, how to access Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And part of that is the other part. So another quality is he never spoke any criticism of the Vaishnavas. And the commentary says their shortcomings, but he didn't even see the shortcomings. I mean, he's not blind, but he saw the qualities, not the faults. Faults. So like you're looking at the moon, this is Prabhupada's example, looking at the moon and seeing the marks on the moon. Oh, just see there's a rabbit on the moon. That what looks like a... So instead of seeing the moonshine. We need to become like that, so that we can access Lord Chaitanya's mercy, so that we can chant the holy name purely, without offense. Because the first one is an offense, criticizing the moon, criticizing the moon-like devotees. So stay always in the association of devotees and learn that wonderful Vaishnava quality, so that inspiration will go on in the association of devotees, and you can become one of the luminaries that inspires other devotees, like Haridas Pandit inspired Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And we can have wonderful Sangha. So it's not just you, but all of us. Anyone from the ladies' side? Those who came for the first time and would like to share? No one's volunteering.
I've already shared, but I'll just add a few more points.
Okay. Yesterday you shared.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a larger assembly. Thank you.
A couple of points in addition to the points I've mentioned yesterday. Last night I was part of the Kirtan. I was very sad that I missed that Kirtan on Friday.
Oh.
So I was eagerly waiting for that, and I did get an opportunity to listen to it yesterday. And for some reason, after the second Kirtan, when Anish was singing, I went into a trance mode, and I was like feeling weightless in my body, and I was very, very excited and very happy with that. I would like to share with you all that opportunity that I got. And also last night, when I chanted 32 rounds yesterday, and when I went to sleep, in the midnight I somehow woke up and I was continuously chanting.
Wow.
That was a great experience, really.
It went in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this morning, as one of the devotees mentioned, I was very slow yesterday chanting, and I saw people completing 64 rounds when I was at the last of 32 rounds. So I realized I was very slow. So today I took the determination this morning that I would start to do 3 rounds from tomorrow for the whole year.
How many?
3 rounds every day.
3 rounds every day.
But also the determination is I should complete the 3 rounds every day in the morning itself before I start my day. That is the determination I have.
A suggestion. It's not a rule, it's just a suggestion. I mentioned this yesterday. Somebody asked, what's the significance of 16? Remember that discussion yesterday? So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in one text that he wrote, he recommended increments of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. So bump it up to 4.
Sure.
I mean, it's not like a rule. It's just following our acharya, and you'll get some blessings by following that recommendation. Okay. So, you're volunteering? You'd like to share? No, you're just fidgeting. Would you like to share? In the back? No. Okay. Someone up front. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This is my second time.
Okay.
Yeah. And last, when I came for the Japa retreat, I could barely do like 24. I could not even finish 64. But during this whole 1 year, I have been attending a lot of lectures, and I was in association with many devotees.
Okay.
And both of these really helped me increase my faith, and thus I could do 64 rounds this time.
Very nice. And when you were chanting your 64 rounds, what did you find gave you strength or, supported you the most during
hearing lectures. Of course, the Bhakti Gita course, that really helped me. I'm attending the Bhakti Gita, that is the Bhakti Shastri course. So we are in the 4th chapter now. So as I was listening to all this Bhagavad Gita, that really helped me. It really, every Sunday we have this, so it's been building faith in me. So that really is the backbone of this.
So it's not so much that you were remembering verses from the 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter, but it's
the whole,
the broader picture of...
Yes. Why I should do this? What is the purpose?
Okay.
So that kind of the need.
Oh, I like this answer. This is very nice.
So that's kind of like build up the faith in me that I should chant.
Okay.
So that helped me finish 64 rounds. And also the association was, while I was chanting here, that really helped, as Prabhu was also saying. So that really helped me.
Okay, thank you. Are you chanting now 16? On your day by day, what's your...
Before I was chanting 8 rounds, but now I have determined to do 16.
All right.
Yes. And as somebody also mentioned, it is, after doing 64, then I thought 16 is very easy, I can do it every day. Why I'm not doing this?
You've understood the secret now.
Yes.
Someone else mentioned the same thing.
Yes. Like 64 made it like increase the threshold, and now 16 is very less actually compared to that.
Yeah.
I could easily do this, I feel.
Like when you're chanting 64 rounds, the first 16 is piece of cake.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're wondering, why do I struggle with 16 rounds? It's a piece of cake.
Yeah, that's why this Japa retreat is really helpful for people to get to 16.
Yeah.
It really help.
Very helpful. And then, because we've been doing this each year, I tried, even in terms of the theme, overall, to, okay, now that, for those of you that are at 16, how do I go, whatever the next step is, besides, qualitative, in other words. How do I connect more, besides perform the activity, but connect more deeply with the holy name? So since you like lectures, I'm saying this again purposefully, listen to the recordings again, because you'll find, and take a notebook and capture points, because there's a number of points that I think you'll find, aside from strengthening your faith, there's some particular aspects of how we regard the name and how to clear the obstacles between us and shelter of the name, and it'll help you qualitatively permanently enhance your relationship with the holy name. Permanently.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You wanted to share also?
Yeah. I also.
Okay.
We are from Portland, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
With my daughter. So last year summer I started coming to temple, Portland temple, every day. So
Every day?
Every day.
Every day.
Starting from this year, January, I started regularly chanting 1 round.
1 round.
And then bumped up to 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Then bumped up to 4 rounds.
4 rounds.
Then bumped up. Recently, past few months, I'm doing every day 8 rounds.
8 rounds.
And and my plan to join Japa retreat was how will I find the energy and the motivation to do 16 rounds a day. And the time for 1 round I take, and I was always, every day I was thinking, what is that I need to do? And my friend also told me, you come over here, you will find the trick and the atmosphere.
Speak
and
more directly into the microphone.
Yeah.
I can hear you, but I'm not sure everybody can hear you.
Yeah. My friend also told me...
No, you don't have to say it again. Just keep going.
Yeah. If you come over here, you'll find the secret and what is it that you need to do to find the motivation.
Did you find it?
Yes, I think I found it.
Let's hear what it is.
Yeah, I think the plan is to go for at least 4 rounds, and I think yesterday I came it down to at least between 8 and 9 minutes. Before I used to take more than 9 minutes per round.
Okay.
And if I sit, I can only sit for about 1 hour to 70 minutes now because of my leg pains. But now I think I can accomplish what is that. And the nice thing is my little one also, she only used to do in weekends 1 round like that. But yesterday she did 3 rounds, which is hopefully she will continue to do every day a round. That's,
okay.
It's a good, we're really satisfied. And last night's campfire was really great. And and the evening kirtan, I was so moved. I don't know the devotees who recited the kirtan. It was so melodious. I started to cry, it really moved me. It's a long time I haven't cried during the when I'm praying to the God and I'm alone. But yesterday I was really moved. It was so melodious and it's so sweet. Thank you.
So you're ready for 16?
Yes.
Starting tomorrow?
Yeah, I will go in increments of 4. So
increments of 4. So you're at 8, now you're going to go to 12.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Working towards... I just have a little comment, 2 or 3 things actually, in relation to what you just shared. The combined effect of the association, kirtan, just kind of, the huddling around the holy name, the fire of the holy name that we've been doing, not just the fire last night, but the whole weekend together, huddling around the holy name. It's spiritually surcharging. Japa, kirtan, association, the holy name right at the center. So, it's kind of like a blend of, what people do in America, sometimes celebrating, you have a bonfire, and it's not altogether unlike Vedic Yajna where there's a fire at the center. But my suggestion or request is at the end, like that, let it just be the holy name, because I understand there was some other kind of singing going on, and just the holy name. These other songs that do other things and means different things to different people, and just our tradition. our acharyas have given us the holy name, like when we have 24-hour kirtan, for example. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the history behind the 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan was Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He lived the final 40 years of his life at Radhakund. And his place of bhajan was at the Gopinath temple. And when, of course, he circumambulated, he did so many things when he was there. But when he left this world, from that time, right at his samadhi at the Gopinath temple, they began and have continued since that time 24-hour kirtan. It's glorious. And Indra Prabhu, when living in Vrindavan, saw what they were doing, and being attracted to the holy name, he began the same. So, endless kirtan, akhanda kirtan, endless kirtan. And so when we're doing holy name and holy name and holy name and holy name, it should end with the holy name. And even if we haven't done that and we just have some function, the holy name, that's our shelter. And specifically, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is our shelter. Other songs glorifying Krishna's name, they're also nice. But the beginning and the middle and end is nice, especially for us as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chanting the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just comment. Would you like to share what your experience was? No, okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Are you happy they chanted 3 rounds? Good. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Like I shared yesterday, I felt a lot of things, the peace I got after coming here for the 3 days. I've never had such a peaceful, this is the first time I'm having such peace.
You want to stay?
I don't know how to express my.
Who wants to go back to that? But you take the peace with you. That's.
And before coming here, 64 rounds. I thought, oh my God.
That's a mountain.
64 rounds. How am I going to do? But yesterday when I slept with the satisfaction that I finished my 64 rounds.
What time did you get up in the morning? Yesterday?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
And I slept 12 o'clock.
Okay.
I couldn't sleep without finishing my 64 rounds. It was so nice, and it gave me so much of energy. Usually I don't walk around alone. I don't like to be alone, but chanting made me walk around every single place here alone. I didn't feel the loneliness. I was thinking someone was near me talking to me. That gave me, that was a very good feeling. It was a very good experience for me. Being a college student, I think it's a good starting point for me to.
So let me repeat something that I said at the very, very beginning, setting the mood. So just what I said, and so I'm repeating, take each experience and connect it with the theme. And the theme is permanently enhancing my relationship with Namaprabhu, with the holy name. So there's the experience, and then go right back to the center, because life will have so many experiences. Boom, 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 boom. It's connected to the essence. We have a relationship with Krishna, and Krishna is none different than His holy name. So we can access our relationship, eternal relationship with Krishna, through our relationship with the holy name. So connect the experience, the realizations, the inspirations that, connected to that. And by connecting it to that, supposing you go through a patch of time where there's calamity or, something, the sky falls on your head or, something unexpected. Like we discussed yesterday morning about Maharaj Pariksit. He had calamity. He was a great soul. We're not. But he had calamity. Some awful, horrible misfortune came to him. But it turned into good fortune because of his Krishna, the core. So that the core is our relationship with Krishna, which we wish to invest in, and the way to best invest is the holy name. So all of these things that, same with others of you that shared, like this experience of, the resource that I need to be able to come to the stage of chanting 16 rounds every day in our busy lives. Remember the goal, or what's at the center. And by so doing, like the residents in Vrindavan, Krishna is at the center of their life. He's the cynosure, exactly the language used in the Bhagavatam. The cynosure of their life is Krishna. So whether it's, off with the cows, herding the cows, or Krishna with the gopis in rasa dance, or whether it's Krishna killing the Keshi demon, or whether it's Krishna lifting Govardhan Hill, or it's Krishna. It's our relationship with Krishna that's everything. It's training our heart and our mind and our very life to be so centered in that same mood. It's from where we are, it's getting there. Whatever those experiences and things are within our life, connect it. Connect it, and you'll like your comment about hearing the classes and strengthening faith. This is also something that we can do in addition to hearing. It's an application point of take that inspiration and plug it in. It gets like growing a seed, sprouting a seed, and then the seed becomes a plant, and the plant becomes flowers and fruits, and just keep nurturing by the hearing process. And then the application of what we've heard. Okay. I want to hear from some of the younger members who are assembled.
I just want to thank everyone for everything. I felt a lot of peace here, and I think all devotees, right from bringing me here, I had to. Different devotees have brought me here, and also they'll be dropping me at home. So thanks to everything from all devotees. Thanks, Hare Krishna.
And all the people that are in the kitchen
everyone.
Cutting the vegetables and washing the pots and stirring the sabjis and so on. So any of our young people, Sachi, in the back. Oh, look at this. How'd you do yesterday, Sachi?
I did good. I chanted 65 rounds.
65?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, previously you chanted a little more, isn't it?
And last year I chanted 64, but the year before that I chanted 80, but yeah.
Okay. What was your experience like, Sachi?
I thought chanting was really easy because I was around my friends and we were I was around my friends and we were all chanting.
I couldn't hear you, spoke too fast.
I was around all my friends and we were all chanting together.
Okay. That made it easy.
Yeah.
You stayed focused or you giggled a lot?
Well,
little of both?
Yeah.
Okay. What helped you the most yesterday? Besides being with your friends who are chanting together?
I think it's because sometimes I would just sit down and close my eyes and focus on my rounds a lot more, and then I would just zip through my rounds without knowing. time.
Okay. Can you compare what your experience was, having done this now 3 times?
Yeah.
3 times? How do you feel you're progressing? Your experience with attending the Japa retreat, how is it helping you?
Well.
You understand the question?
No.
No. 3 years ago, you chanted so many rounds at a Japa retreat. Yay! And then last year you chanted 64 rounds. And this year you chanted 65 rounds. So in that 3 years period, there's been some, like a learning curve, up or down or steady, or so something that has helped you in the course of those 3 years of attending a Japa retreat, either specifically the retreat or how that has helped you in your, like being a kid in school that there's nobody else that's a devotee, but you're happy being a devotee. However you'd like to share.
Well, I chant at home also, so I thought chanting was a lot easier when I come to Japa retreat. But
How many rounds do you chant at home?
I chant 3.
3. And during the summer, how many?
I'm going to chant 8 this summer.
You're going to chant 8 this summer. Okay. Okay. That's good. Your friend next to you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My name is Ashna.
You what?
Ashna.
Ashna, okay. How many rounds did you chant yesterday?
64 rounds.
64 rounds.
Yes.
And was it easy or difficult?
Well, in the beginning it was kind of hard because I'm pretty slow at chanting. But after lunch and like even before lunch, I started going faster and it was easier.
When you chanted faster, it was easier.
Yeah, just because when you chant really slow, it's kind of hard to keep focus. So when you chant faster, you can keep focus and still think about Krishna at the same time.
Okay. Some voices I can understand better than others, and somehow I'm having a hard time understanding. Aditi? And you're next.
I chanted 64 rounds this time.
You did some service too, right?
Yeah. I think I helped out with the kids at one point, and I was in the kitchen, and I had to take a few pictures for some other events and stuff, so my dad had asked me to go around and take pictures of the campsite, so I'd been doing that a lot too.
So can you share a little bit about what it was like yesterday?
The first 32 rounds were pretty easy.
The first?
32.
Okay, and then?
And then I was wavering in focus, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost there. I just have to kind of make the last stretch. And so it was really hard to just think about Krishna when I was thinking, I only have 32 rounds left.
The mountain looked bigger when you got closer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what did you do? What happened?
I was with them, like Ashmi and Arpana,
Yeah.
a lot, and they were really focused on their chanting as well, so it kind of helped. And then if I wasn't with them...
Did at any point it got like easier?
It got the easiest when we all like at one point we were talking, even though we weren't supposed to. And then we all realized, like, oh my gosh, we still have rounds to finish. So we all just kind of unanimously decided to stop talking. And we just sat there together chanting.
Yeah.
And that was pretty easy because, I mean, I'm really comfortable around them. And so being able to share, like, a spiritual experience was...
So in the association of others made it easier?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And if I wasn't with them, I was trying to be alone to focus on my chanting as well.
At what time did you finish?
Around 12.
12? Ooh.
I know.
Midnight, not noon.
Yeah.
But you were determined.
Yes.
64.
I didn't want to go to bed without finishing them.
Good for you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So yesterday I completed 64 rounds also. But I think something that was different from previous retreats was that yesterday after the morning class, we made a schedule. Like by this time we would finish this many rounds, and by this time we would finish this many rounds. And it was like something to help keep us on track the whole time, so that like our aim was to finish all 64 before the kirtan. But I was a little slow yesterday, and so I only finished 48 before the kirtan, and then after I was like, I only have 16 left, so I just finished them. So I ended pretty late too. I ended at like 11:30, but I just wanted to get them done. And and then another thing that helped me was we were walking outside a lot, and so I felt that I wasn't as concentrated outside, so for a while I came inside, and like another Prabhuji mentioned, there were a bunch of quotes on the PowerPoint, and I was reading them as the slides flipped through, and it was talking a lot about like humility and begging to Krishna for allowing you to chant like properly and things like that. And I think that really that like narrowed my focus down, and I was able, or concentration down, and I was able to focus a lot more. And also there were a bunch of other devotees chanting in here, so I think overall that helped. And that was different from the previous retreats, because previously I used to just like look at the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, like the signs and stuff to help me focus, but there weren't really quotations that I could read and then like think about. And so I think that was different from previous retreats, and that helped.
Okay. Just to comment on what you shared, two things. One is, as your academic responsibility is going to like bump up a bit, like spike a bit, time management becomes real critical. As for others that also have busy lives, time management becomes more and more critical. So what you shared, scheduling and, targets and, so you'll find that same principle will help you a whole lot, because otherwise it's a blur and you lose focus and you're in the ocean drowning of stuff, weight and things and deadlines and so it's time management, make a plan, stay when you're doing what you're doing, be very focused when you're doing the next thing, be very focused when you're doing the next thing. And a great strength to stay with it will come from the first one, the chanting, accessing the strength of Krishna in the form of His holy name. And then a second is, once unfocused, like I was going to ask, but you answered, when you were walking around, it was distracting. It wasn't the same focus. It may be relaxing, but it's not the same focus. And then once you're unfocused, to again get focused, that's tough. So, especially with going back to the first one, and this is for everybody, the best plan, time-wise, is chant first thing. And that means, take rest early, like, the devotees that were describing, they were looking forward to this, and that anticipation is part of the key to success, both in chanting and in spiritual life in general. I'll share something from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur described a life of a devotee. One part of it is in the evening, before taking rest, review three things. Review what went well what didn't go so well. And then some second part, some kind of commitment or sankalpa or intention or focus on tomorrow, those things that didn't go so well, I'm going to apply myself better. And a third is just before taking rest, some anticipation of the fantastic good fortune that I have, for rising early and chanting early. Anticipating at night makes it easier. Just as first thing when you wake up, it's okay, here's chanting opportunity. And then that sets the day by what you do at night, anticipating that block of time. That's not just a duty, it's strength. It's the best fortune of our life to have that facility. You'd like to share? Okay. Pass the microphone forward.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So this is actually my 5th Japa retreat, so I've been coming to every single one since the first one.
This is number 5?
Yeah, but like in the first one, I didn't do any rounds. I was just like.
You're playing basketball.
I was 5 at that time, so I really didn't do anything. And then like the next, I started at like I think 32, and then from then on I kept doing 64. And then last time, and the thing this time was that I couldn't make it on Friday. So
you couldn't make it on Friday?
Oh yeah, Friday does. It made my chanting hard, kind of.
Yesterday?
Yeah, because last year retreat, it was so easy. I could just
Zoom.
I could just do 96 rounds. Like I did 64, and I'm like by like 2 or 3 o'clock.
Wow.
And I'm like, I have to do more, so I did 32 more.
Yeah.
Get 96, and this time I'm like
struggling.
So like actually for the first 16 rounds it was kind of easy, because I was actually walking around. Sometimes it's hard for me to sit down really for a long time, because I just get really restless. I have to. It's just hard for me to sit down in one place for like 2 hours at a time. I have to like get up and walk around. The first 16 rounds were outside, and they were actually relatively easy. I was just like, I went near the beach, not to the beach, but like across the ocean by myself, and then I was just chanting, looking up, and then the next.
So that's 32, and then?
No, that's 16, and then
the first 16.
Yeah, and then the next 16, I came here for some time, but I still was walking around
restless,
a bit because I can't so I was like, I wasn't sitting in one place even in here, but then it was kind of easier with everyone else chanting also. So then for most of the time of my next 16, I was in here. And then I went out for my next 16 outside again. And then the last 16 were the hardest, because it was like afternoon. Like I finished 48 before lunch. So before lunch. Then the next 16, they were really, really, really hard.
Tough.
Because like everyone's just done with their rounds, and they're just like.
Did you eat too much lunch?
Maybe. I don't think so, actually.
Okay.
And then the last 16 were really hard, and I just kept trying. It took me like 4 or 5 hours to finish the last 16 rounds.
Whoa.
Even though the other ones I could do in like 2 hours each, and it took like 5 or 6 hours to finish the last 16 rounds. And finally I did finish 64 rounds by the end.
So next year, come on Friday.
Yeah.
Make it much easier.
Yeah, so.
But you're terminating. When there's this struggle, but you stay with it anyway, it's strengthening. It strengthens one's determination. And you heard some of the others say, when that gets like that, not just struggle, but take the association of others who are, chanting nicely. This is not, at a Japa retreat when it's chanting nicely, and then in life it's take the association of other devotees who are doing their devotional service very nicely. And in that association, it becomes much easier. Association is so important. Yeah? Otherwise, where would we be?
the last 16, I was basically it took me like 10 or 15 minutes to finish each round because I was just going really, really slow. I was kind of unfocused for the last 16. The first 48 were pretty focused, I think.
Yeah.
But then the last 16 were kind of unfocused and struggle. I was going really slow, and then it made me unfocused. And it was just.
Anyone from the ladies' side would like to share? Mataji in the back? Take the microphone. Raise your hand so he knows to bring it to you. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I am Navya. This is my first Japa retreat, Maharaj.
Okay.
And I did 64 rounds. At the end of the day, while on the bed, I did my last round.
Yay!
Actually, I thought of doing 64 rounds without eating, completing my 64 rounds and then eat, but I couldn't do that because when I sit and chant, I was feeling sleepy. So I walked all around and I was losing my stamina to do. But I did 46 rounds without eating, but after the last 16 rounds was very hard for me to do. I finished it. I was happy that I finished it. The experiences I got is like when I was concentrating and I was doing, it was good. But the last 16 rounds, I thought I was just finishing that with my mouth, but not with my heart. When I was concentrating and I was seeing, I was sleepy, so I was walking all around. But at that time when I was walking, whatever I see, I want to relate it to Krishna so that I feel concentrated or something. In that way, I chanted my rounds. And more is like I want to, I have 2 kids. My elder one is 6.5 years, and I want her to chant, but it was a hard time to make her chant because of all the kids are playing and she wants to play more. My doubt is like how to make my elder one to chant nicely every day. Like she don't want to chant, and she always says something or something. Do I need to put a rule or let her walk around and chant, or how can I engage her in chanting? Make her sit nicely and chant nicely, or she can go around and she can chant while playing also? What will be the easier thing and best thing?
No rule and no quote making. That's not. I've never seen it be successful. I've seen the opposite. It's like a punishment, and then so there's a reaction to punishment. It's like that's punishment. So few things, just in combination of the few things. Set an example. Consistently set an example. That's one thing. Another is, it's some part of the day, chant together. Sit down, she wants your attention. If it's agreeable, it's easier. It's just like when we have an assembly, it's easier to chant than when you're alone. So with your child, invite them to chant with you for one round or some part of each day. So it just becomes like an association thing that we do together. Mom and daughter, whatever, family. So chant together. And so teach by example, teach through association, and then ask rather than tell. Why do we chant? Educate by the question-answer method. And then after the answer is discovered, because when a person says it, they own it. It's theirs. You understand what I'm saying? You say that it's yours, but if she says it's hers.
Oh.
So ask, and then, well, let's go to some text that explains. Now, what did it say? What are we to understand here? Okay, well, that's fantastic. So what are some other reasons, and some other reasons, and some other reasons? Okay, very nice. Now, then, that can be, it's the why to do the what. The consciousness, or at least the purpose behind the activity. Then there can be impetus to do the activity, because children like to play. They don't like to chant. But I've seen, just to conclude it, I've seen situations where, without naming the names, someone young shared with me, I like everything except one thing, chanting. Give me some service, this and that, and I like all of it, except chanting is really hard. So there wasn't pressure, you must. It's just more the third thing that I just described to you. And then, not seek a commitment, just set the example. That young person is now doing very well in Krishna consciousness, and they just got over not wanting to chant and started chanting because they understood why. And now they're an initiated devotee, young, person, rather than being pushed. It's the art of parenting. It's, how do we pass on values to children besides the behaviors? Behaviors is not enduring, because when you're not around, the behavior may go somewhere and become something else. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
One last is, you had your hand up. Can you pass the microphone up, please?
So I was only able to complete 51 rounds yesterday.
51.
And I don't think... I'm not sure if that's an auspicious number, but it's what I was able to do, because I have a 3-year-old and he's very rambunctious and he was having a lot of fun. But one struggle I had was when I put him down for a nap, and then when I put him down for bed, this has always been the struggle, then I will fall asleep because I'm a little bit tired. So that's what I'd like to do, is maybe figure out a way where I'm not sleeping so I can complete more rounds next year. And I did find that it was easier before 7. I mean, I woke up with that anticipation, and I didn't even have an alarm clock, because you can't have your cell phones in your room. You have to have them somewhere else because there's no plugins. And I just woke up, and I think it was that anticipation. So I'm really thankful that you mentioned how important that is, because that's when it was most easy. And then also I was trying to find a prayer that would motivate me, or something I could read. And so I had only brought the first canto, and I looked up chanting in the index.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful, because there were so many different quotes by Prabhupada, and so to have Prabhupada's quotes backed by your points that you have made already was really powerful. And so that's what I thought I would do, is that throughout the day just keep on looking at different parts of the chanting for inspiration.
Well, I can tell you something about, at least there's different things different people like to do at different times. But one of them might be, because there's plenty, just at intervals when chanting, see something, internalize that something, and move into the chanting with that message, powered by that message. Like you that like to hear classes. Similar. So I think we have to finish here at 9, yes? So maybe a little summarizing. Sachinandana Swami calls this the wheelbarrow session. Those of you from India, you may not know what a wheelbarrow is, but he's from Germany and he knows it in English. When people do some gardening or some agriculture, one of those things that has a wheel in the front and 2 handles that come out in this trough that you can put tools and seeds and things in, that's a wheelbarrow. So this is wheelbarrow time. So what things that you can take home with you. I'm going to make a number of suggestions, so either you can remember them or write them down or whatever it is. Specifically from the messages that were shared, something may have particularly resonated with you. The reason for asking the question, what did you feel most supported by during your 64 rounds? And those, whatever are those things, whether it was what you heard or your experience or something that helped you, stay with it. So take that with you to chanting tomorrow and the next day and this week and this summer. That's, it's mode of goodness to be able to take something and go more deeply with that something. And it's not like your experience tomorrow or next week or during the summer is going to be the same as 64 round day, but there's a power-giving principle that somehow Krishna helped you connect with. So reestablish that connection, allowing that it's not going to be the same, but there's some inspiration, some power in that which supported you. A second thing is, go back and listen to the discussions on preparing for the 64 round day. Friday's discussions and Saturday morning discussion, and listen carefully, and you'll just like reading Bhagavad Gita, and then you read Bhagavad Gita again, and you go, wow, there was all kinds of things in reading it the second time that I didn't see the first time. You know what I mean? So like that, here again, and you'll likely find something, wow, I didn't hear that, I didn't pick up on that. And something else may become also a resource that will help you, so that then you connect with that one and help you move forward. And similarly, just as we heard from the devotee that shared by attending Bhakti Shastri classes and studying Bhagavad Gita and so on, the general strengthening of faith experience is there that will carry you besides, a particular thing. Hearing about the importance of strengthening our relationship with the Holy Name and how to do that, the importance of it and how to do that, hearing again and hearing again will help carry you into accomplishing. A third thing is deliberately the theme or the explicit educational objective that we started with will be very helpful in a number of ways. One of them is connect you with the experience of the Japa retreat itself. So time will pass and the memory will fade. The experience won't be as proximate as it is for you today, what you did yesterday, going through the course of the summer, let's say. But you think of the theme and apply the theme message, which is the things that you read, the realizations that you have, the experiences in your Krishna consciousness, and while chanting, connect them with this central item. Continue nurturing the seed and growing the seed of permanently enhancing your relationship with the Holy Name. And it's a lifetime of that. Those who take seriously the chanting of the Holy Name, it becomes, all realizations come from that. Everything is there. The whole spiritual world is there. The whole Bhagavatam is there in the Holy Name. Krishna and his associates and his loving pastimes. It can be directly experienced, not just by imagining or reading, but combine the things that you read with the Holy Name. I'm trying to recall Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that 3-volume book that Bhakti Vikash Maharaj put together. There's a section where he speaks about the Holy Name. And there's one place where he speaks about the Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna Katha is the Swarup Shakti of the Holy Name. What does Swarup Shakti mean? Swarup Shakti means Krishna's potency, his Swarup Shakti, his own potency. So that's Srimati Radharani, is the Swarup Shakti of Krishna. So we can access Krishna through his Swarup Shakti. We can access Krishna nicely through Srimad Bhagavatam and combine Srimad Bhagavatam and the Holy Name. You've got the package. Radha Krishna. In the mood of wishing to be in their service eternally. So to help enrich this access, to help it strengthen our access to the Holy Name is becoming, just like you described about the Bhakti Shastri study and systematic study, it enriches our access to the name. It's exactly what Bhaktisiddhanta's teaching is. You described it, huh? Okay. Where does it start? Okay. Where does it start? Okay, the kirtan. Okay. The kirtan culture widespread in Bengal and in the yoga circuit in America had sprung from Lord Chaitanya's propagating Harir Nam Eva Kevalam, misunderstanding of which had led to an underemphasis of the importance of Shravanam, or hearing Harikatha. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati revealed that Hari Katha is the Swarup Shakti of Harinam. Just as Krishna is properly worshipped not alone but with his Swarup Shakti Sri Radha, recitation of Harinama is incomplete and improper unless accompanied by hearing Hari Katha. He stated that wherever Hari Katha is spoken is a tirtha, and that Hari Katha is the guardian of genuine sadhus in a world where everything that surrounds one is ready to become an enemy and attack the unprotected. Anyway, so it goes on. It's a perfect combination. Prabhupada gave it to us with great sacrifice and endeavor to provide us with Srimad Bhagavatam, and he engaged us in congregational chanting and chanting of Japa, and of course so many deity worship and so many other things that are angas of bhakti, but the Bhagavad Dharma process is this hearing and chanting. And so hearing Hari Katha and chanting Japa, and in the association of devotees, hearing Hari Katha and chanting Japa and chanting in Kirtan. And it's so simple. For complicated people it's too difficult because it's too simple. But for those who are genuinely desiring to be again situated in relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, it's a sublime method. So along with goes into your wheelbarrow, along with the inspiration that you have from this retreat and the association and so many other things, the focus on the holy name, place some time with reading of scripture. Just like, you're a college student, and academic load is, substantial, if not crushing sometimes, with papers and deadlines and exams and whoever else is in that stage of their life. So much so that, how will I have time? Or like we heard someone just sharing yesterday about, during our session for the 32 rounders, that from chanting my japa every day, placing that devotional practice as the big rock that goes into the glass jar first, sometimes I find that the deadlines for work or the deadlines for school or something, I'm not going to be able to complete it, and I'm in anxiety. But what to do about that feeling, and I don't want to neglect my sadhana. If we do it in a very focused and qualitative way, the spiritual potency is there. Guaranteed, it's there. If we chant with that kind of focus and intensity, that the strength needed to do everything will be with us. Part of the problem is we do mechanically, and so the access of that strength isn't so great, and then we're not so focused, and we don't do our practical duties so attentively, and we end up also just doing time-wasting things. They're splayed out. Bahushaka hyanantasya buddhayo vyavasainam, in the language of Bhagavad Gita. But the alternative to that is very focused attention. Very focused attention. Read 241 Bhagavad Gita. If we do our chanting very carefully, attentively, with priority, with that kind of faith and realization, so many we'll have the time, we'll have the strength, we'll have the capacity to do everything. Krishna will see to it. Krishna won't let us down. Krishna doesn't give us more to do than we can do. It looks like it. Most of us have that experience, or at least many of us have that experience. There's more to do than we have time to do. Certainly my life. More to do than I have time to do, and it's always like so much more. But don't abandon ever the position of taking shelter of the holy name, just like taking time out to come here and attend the Japa retreat. We could be off doing other things. But it's so valuable, so valuable. We come year after year, not just so that at the end we can say, I chanted 64 rounds. It's, it's strengthening the spiritual lives and the appreciation of other devotees also. Many of you expressed how you felt supported just by the people who are here, the people who are doing things and making things easy. I don't know if any of you have seen Amritananda unless you went in the kitchen. And he was here the day before we got here. I mean, the afternoon, midday, before we all got here. He is a hero and supporting all of us and many others, of course, also. So we're enabled to do what we can do because of the association of very dedicated devotees who we're indebted to. And that's part of something that gives us strength to go forward as well. So just to end, the priority. Summer is just beginning, especially for those that are attending school, some education program, junior high school or college or whatever. Summer is here, and for families, it's vacation time and go here and go there and see people and travel and things. Summer is a season. We've placed the Japa retreat deliberately at the very beginning of that, so it sets the repeating from the beginning part, but it sets the mood, the priority, the focus. So like, what is your name?
Yashvi.
Yashabi. You chanted 3 rounds yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. So during the summer, consult mom and dad, but think, during the summer, what can you do with chanting? You don't have to say right now, but think about it, and then something that you every day during the summer I'm going to do this much chanting, and with the support of mom and dad I'm going to do maybe a little reading of Krishna book or something that your vocabulary and your skill of reading can handle. Namamrita is really nice, but there's some children's readings. Find out something. I'm speaking to her, but I'm speaking to all of you. Find out something that you can focus with reading and some chanting. And just do it every day and see what happens. Okay? Something you can do, and do it every day for the whole summer. And at the end of the summer, take a look and see what's inside now. Wow. There's something that wasn't there before. It's grown. Some feeling of attraction for Krishna. And then when you come to the temple and you're in the kirtan, it's another wow experience because of that effort that you made just between you and Krishna. It's your relationship with Krishna. And it's now grown because you made that commitment to Him. Exactly. It's a commitment to Him, in your relationship with Him. You invest in that relationship with Him, and the relationship grows. And then as you hear other things, you get some realization that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, because without having invested in that relationship with Krishna. Spiritual life grows like that. So take this as a springboard or an opportunity to go forward. Another step in the direction of your relationship with Krishna. And recognize that even if you're not thinking it's so, it's permanent. And if you're thinking that it's so, and making that commitment in that consciousness, Krishna will smile, and He'll accept that extension in your relationship to Him and help you in so many ways. You can't even count the ways. Okay, so I'm going to end, and we have some stuff we have to do. Besides take breakfast, there's a whole cleanup thing that has to happen. You can use this one.
Hare Krishna. So, I'll say a few things. I was born and raised in Bombay, India, but my formative years were spent in Surat. So growing up, like I was this old, Janmashtami, Diwali, and Holi, or Gaura Purnima for us now, there were three important festivals in my life growing up. I always remember them. Like Janmashtami days, entire neighborhood, everybody was fasting, and night 9 o'clock onwards, we go to door, home to home, and every home there is a Krishna and nice prasadam and kirtan and all. So I grew up in that kind of environment. And Holi was also fantastic. So the thing is, Brahmapada Maharaj comes here since last over a decade or more, 3 times a year. Thanksgiving weekend, this Japa retreat weekend, and in April. So for me, when he comes here thrice a year, it's like those days while growing up. Holi, Janmashtami, and Diwali. So I was thinking, which one is a Janmashtami and which one is a Holi? So the Thanksgiving weekend, which Maharaj has been coming for almost 11 years now, is like Gaura Purnima, where I feel more connected with the teachings of Acharyas, and then Maharaj always teaches us so many inspirational literatures, Hari Bhakti Vilasa, Bhagavatam, and Madhurya Kadambini, all these little books and so forth. Maharaj has been teaching us. Last year was Brahma Samhita, and next year is a Brahma Samhita part 2, end of this year. Don't miss it, please come. And this one is more like a Janmashtami. A lot of excitement I see in Prabhu's voice here, and so much, like how, so much excitement, so much services, so much work, so thank you for all you coming here, and thank you for Maharaj to give us fantastic time here. Very enlivening, very spiritually, supermost gratitude, Maharaj, for taking time out of your valuable life and where you can be spending some other things. You make sure that you come here, and the planning for this goes on for the next, year in advance. Jai Sachinandana Prabhu already sent the date for the next year's Japa retreat to us. You have to make a reservation. So, and Maharaj's April visit is like Diwali, where, things are very joyous and festive and all. So I really appreciate having Maharaj in my life, and I hope you feel the same way in your life, that he takes charge and makes point to teach us these things on a regular basis. It's a very systematic over the years. This was not our 5th yatra, Japa retreat, actually it was 7th. Maharaj took us to Sharanagati retreat in 2008, pretty much like this time frame. Then 2 years we did it there, then 3 years in a Miller Sylvania Park near Olympia, and this is the 2nd year here. So if you add up all that, we completed 7 years. And one other thing, as Maharaj rightly said, Amritananda is 0. It's amazing. It's like I couldn't have done this. It's just impossible to do it. This is too much planning. And Amritanand and Jana Vatsal Prabhu are backbone of logistic and all. Like these things you are sitting on, we forgot about it. And Jana Vatsal Prabhu drove all the way from here to Seattle, came back at middle of night, like 2:30 or 3:30, and set it up also. So 7 o'clock in the morning, program can start. One little complaint in all this appreciation, we closed the registration on 2nd June, and we had about 140 people. So I cooked all the cereal and breakfast, what we've been eating for only that many people, because I had to order supplies and all. And then day before, Amritanand calls up and says, hey, 193. I had no way to do anything. It takes me over a weekend to cook that, 10, 12 hours. So next year, if I invite you all to come, but please make sure you register early enough so we can purchase. There's no stores around here that we can just go and grab things. And it puts a lot of difficulty in our path then. So thanks to Amar Prabhu and Arun and Hari Vallabha for doing fantastic job with video recording and audio. We are going to upload all the audios by tomorrow. Where is Arun? He went out, but that's a task for him. Video, we are going to upload it. And Nitya Gauranga for taking care of this temple hall here. It looks like a temple hall. And teachers, all the Vraj Bhakti, Namapriya, Mataji, and so forth, for helping out with children's activity. And Prema Tarangini Mataji to fly from Chicago and giving us inspirational association and all the valuable tips. And Nila Madhava Prabhu, it's amazing. The idea here is not to make some money or anything like that. We keep the cost very reasonable. 3 nights, $70, including all the prasadam and doing what we are doing here. So we hope to continue to do this. Please support us and continue to chant better. I'll end here with one thing. I've been attending 7 retreats. I've attended all 7 with Maharaj. First 2 was very nice because I didn't have to do anything, sit there, because it was in Canada. But I like to go someplace else where the retreats are happening and just be a participant, then, be involved in this. So this is an opportunity for you. Take that opportunity and become a little more serious, and it's going to help. We started this program at our temple every Saturday morning, having a 32 rounds day every Saturday morning, but not many people come. So I emphasize the participant of the Japa retreat should should think about attending it regularly. If possible, come for Mangala Aarti, and then we all can chant 16 rounds, and then you can go home. Those who would like to continue to do 32, you may continue. So there's a whole support system behind this. Starting next Saturday, please come. Who would like to come? Raise the hand. Haribol. So we'll hear in a little few minutes tips and techniques before we start chanting every Saturday, and we'll continue. So thank you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. His Holiness Rabbi Swami Maharaj ki. And Arun Prabhu will just help understand us how